Hey, hi. In this video, we are going to look after how do we create something called as a VPC peering. The idea is that we want to connect and create a secure connectivity between the two VPCs. Now we already know that while we make the connectivity between the two networks, there are multiple ways, and the most common ways are to have the connectivity over the internet. So let's take a quick idea about behind the VPC peering. We already are aware of the VPC peering in general, but still, just a quick feedback. Okay, so we do have a VPC. Let's say this is VPC X, and we have a VPC Y, right? And generally, any instance sitting on the VPC X, let's say just an A, and the B. If you want to have a connectivity, there's one way that we can have the connectivity through an internet, and then we can have the connectivity. However, it's not very secure because it's passing through the public internet. That's the first pointer. The second pointer that what we do is it also has a lot of network bandwidth that is basically being consumed, which will also cost you a lot of money. So we want to, securely communicate between these two instances, and why not we do have, somehow make a secure connectivity within these two VPCs as well. And that's why the VPC peering come into play. So the idea of the VPC peering is that we connect two VPCs together so that they can communicate, the instances within them can communicate, within themselves without actually passing on the traffic through the internet as well. One of the key pointers about the VPC peering that we have to keep in mind is that the CIDR range needs to be different. So, for example, if the CIDR range for this one is 10.0.0/16, right? So this cannot be the same. It has to be different. So let's say, for example, this still works, right? Because the CIDR range is different. So and then we kind of create the connectivity, the private connectivity. So now once a VPC peering connectivity has been set up, you can actually ping from A to B on the B's private IP. You don't have to ping into the public IP as well. Okay, so that's the idea about the VPC peering in general. Now, if you want to extend this VPC peering, let's say I have a third VPC as well, VPC C, and I want to extend this idea as well on how do we connect it to it. So we have to make a peering connection between A and so let's say we can connect between A and B, and we think that if we want to make connectivity to okay, let's take another example. So there's another pairing between B and C as well. So A and B has a pairing, B and C has a pairing, and so A and C cannot communicate directly. So A and C also has to have a peering connectivity as well. So VPC peering for when we have a lot of VPCs to connect with each other, probably not the right way as well. So if we want to connect probably with one or two another two or three VPCs a max, right? VPC peering comes down to the answer. But if you have a lot of VPCs that you want to communicate with each other, then probably the transit gateway would be the right one, or probably you can also go with a VPC lattice or the private link as well. Anyway, those are not the discussion. Those are the probably the discussion that we can have some other day. This video is just an idea about how does the VPC peering actually works out practically, right? So again, theoretically, to watch my other videos on how do we how does the VPC peering basically works, and then the entire connectivity around it, that will give you a lot of idea. Okay, so let's see what are the things in front of us. So we do have three of the VPCs, and you can see we have this VPC 172, which is the default one. I created the one EKCTL MCK PK EKS cluster, which is of 10.1.0.0, and the other one is 10.192.168, right? So we'll go ahead and create these, the peering connection between this VPC and this VPC. So that's the idea. Okay, so for that, first we'll just search for the VPC peering, right? So you just look for VPC peering, and you first set up a peering connection. So create, let's say this is going to be my peering PK. Okay. Now, who is going to make a request? So I'll just consider this VB14 one to make a request, which is 192.168. So someone has to make a request to some other VPC. Now, while connecting with two VPCs, you can connect the two VPCs from two different AWS account as well. So right now, both the VPC lies down in the same AWS account. You can find out the AWS ID over from here as well. If you want to have from another ID, you can also specify the another account ID. Okay, you can also do the VPC peering to some other region. So right now, both of the VPCs are in the Mumbai region, which is AP South one. But just in case, if you want the connectivity from two different region altogether, right, that's also something which is possible. So between different region, between different account, both the combinations are totally possible. Okay, in this case, I don't have that kind of a complexity. I just have the complexity of actually, to be honest, no complexity. Okay, so I'll just so this is like a requester ID, and who is going to accept it? That's going to be the MCK PK PK1, right? So this is going to be an associated one, and I go ahead and create a peering connections as well. Okay, so I go across and create a peering connection. So this is like a requested peering connections. So the another VPC has to accept it. So uh, you know B14 has raised a request. MCK has to accept it. So if you see across, it says like pending, and in some time there should be an action, right? So just so if you just click on the peering connections, you'll find out there's an accept request option. You have to accept the request. Okay, so now you have accepted. So if you look into these peering connections, you'll be able to see that this is now active. However, other thing is that the route tables are empty. So even if the peering connection had been set up, the route table still does not allow both the connectivity to work, right? So I still need to go across and update my route table that both the subnet should allow the connectivity to flow from one subnet of one VPC to the subnet of the another VPC as well, right? And for that very region, we have to go to our VPCs specific to the route table altogether, right? And then have to modify that as well. So both the route table has to be modified. Okay, so let's go by one. So I'll just go to this specific VPC, right? So first, this VPC, right? We do have a route table. I'll just update my this public route table. I think that should be okay. As you can see, we do have the route table, right? It does specify the route table. So I'll just go ahead and edit the route table. I'll just add a route table too, because I have to make the connections from this this is a current VPC. Obviously I have to make the connectivity to the VPC having the CIDR range of 10.0.1 point, sorry, my bad, 10.1.0.016, right? This is the CIDR range. This is where I have to make it. So I specify this, right? And then I specify I have to set a peering connection, select the peering connections, and then do this changes. So now my connectivity will flow from this, to this destination as well, obviously through the 192.168 from as well. Similarly, I have to do the same kind of connectivity to this another VPC pairing as well. So I'll also go to the where do we have like a private public. So we do specify, I think, okay, so public route table there. Okay, so yeah, I mean whatever route table that you want them to connect, you just have to go across and update those route table as well. Okay, so add route table, and I'll do this kind of the same thing, right? Which is an route table specification, right? And I'll just search for peering connection, select the peering connections, right? And then I do the save, right? So now my both the connectivity, both the route table has been updated. Uh, oh, pretty cool. So if it works, right? So I just have to wait for a minute or two for it to, 10. So as you can see, like now we can see that, the route table has been updated, and we can see those connectivity over here as well. Okay. So if things work fine, we can just do a quick, we can kind of go across and like do a quick testing for it, right? So go to an EC2 instance, right? So we go to an EC2 instance and we create two different instances altogether. Both, so we'll like, EC2A, let's say this is for the MCK one. We'll create it on the MCK. The other one would be a BB14. So in both the servers, we're going to create it. Okay, here's the one, right? So we do have to, specify the MCK, because this was we are creating in the MCK, and we are using a public, server for that matter. So we just select the public one. Okay, so now I think we have everything, obtained. Okay, SSH. Okay, in the security group, we'll also create something, because we are going to make a ping connection, right? So ICMP port needs to be open. Okay, so I'll just open an ICMP, right? Source would read for the everyone for now. Okay, let's just launch the instance, I'd say. Okay, it's launching. In the meantime, I'll just create the other one as well, which is going to be in the B14. So this is like a B14, right? Okay, whatever it is. Here again, doing the same thing. You just have to make sure this is for the B14, right? And we make the same thing. It needs to be in the public one. We do add a security group for an ICMP port. Okay, and then we launch this up. Now see, one of the interesting part is that we got an IP before for the private IP, right? So private IP is 10.1.33.160. In the meantime, I'll just open this one as well. So I'll just update sudo apt update. Similarly, I'll just open, and you can see like 1 and 2, 168, 15, 128, right? So if you're able to make a successful ping between both, right, we can clearly say that, hey, we made a perfect connection. So this is like an IP address, and this is like an IP address where we are supposed to make a ping request, right? Okay, so let's do a ping, right? Okay, and as you can see, we are able to ping, which means that the connection from this private is basically flowing to this one without any interruption. We can do the other way around, vice versa, right? We can just go here and make a ping to this. Now this shows that, hey, it works. So this basically clarifies that the peering connection between the two instances is now possible, right? So yeah, that's all from this video. We successfully made a peering connections. I hope you got an idea about how the peering connections basically can be established between the two VPCs. more about the content, more about how does the peering connections and everything works, do watch out the other videos as well. Thank you.